Hey guys, and we are live. Seeing how everyone's doing tonight. I know I'm a little off center. I gotta move over a bit. My camera's mirrored, so of course I moved the wrong way. Gotta love it. Hi, Princess Jamie, Renegade, Austin. Good to see you. I hope everyone is doing well. Uh, Geez, can't seem to catch a break lately. There's a lot going on. But we won't get into a whole lot of that, thankfully. Uh, what's going on in your guys' neck of the woods? I know I saw recently, I would think they were more current pics. Jamie posted some pictures out on the range with the 4x4. That's got to be nice to live out in an area where that's just accessible. Here in Ohio, you have to drive pretty far to find any decent trails, and most of them are private, so it's a pain in the ass. Yes, I do have my Capri Master Set because when you're going to downsize, sometimes you need to upgrade. And so I got my best quarter-inch set, and that should get me through most of what I have to deal with. I think I actually have to replace the blower motor on my Taurus tomorrow because it decided to go out on me all of a sudden. I heard it making like a little noise for like a day, and then it was the day before I was moving, or no, not the day before, but really close to before I was moving, and I go out to drive it somewhere. Oh, it was Christmas Day, and I went to drive it somewhere, and the heat just cut out on me and wouldn't work anymore. Yeah, I heard Josh said he had a new name for YouTube, but he didn't tell me what it was, Austin. A transfer case popping out of four-wheel drive. 247K though. Yeah, that's about time. Well, I guess it kind of depends. It depends on what kind of 4x4 it is. Some are more reliable than others, but 247K will do that. Um, what would that be though? That's making it pop out. I don't do a lot of I've never really messed a lot with four-wheel drive, like the actual components of tearing them apart. So, yeah, I don't know what that would be. Because huh, that's going to bug me. I'll probably look that up later. A lot of hard for, yeah, yeah, you must be at that point. 247K, most of them usually do pretty good for a while, but there are a few that are notorious for problems. Ford, I want to say, I want to say somewhere there in the 90s, like their 4x4s were crap. Most of the F-150s that we see around here are actually two-wheel drive, funny enough. It's like if you're going to have a big truck, or at least a decent sized truck, why would you not get four-wheel drive? Oh, try a bungee cord, Princess Jamie. Bill Beckett in the house. Hi, Bill. Thanks for stopping by. uh, yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Most of that is just my ego. I threw everything up a little bit ago. I saw the shot that I was basically getting, and I'm like, I gotta throw some damn tools or something in the background. All this white was killing me. Uh, and I played with the lighting a little bit. I killed the overhead light. Right now, the only thing I have is a lamp over here in like the windowsill, and it's a little guy. It just doesn't look right. It makes the room too dark. I need to really like get some lighting for the background or something. I tried messing around with some things, but I wasn't happy with it. I will tell you what, um, the steel zip ties, Bill. Uh, I've never actually used them, but because I always thought they seemed like they would slip. At least I don't know. I never examined them, outside of the package or really got to mess with them. But it just seemed to me that they would like kind of slip. Maybe not easier per se than a plastic zip tie, but I never felt the need. But apparently, according to Project Farm and a video he did probably a couple months ago now on zip tie strength, apparently the steel zip ties actually hold a lot of weight. So I don't know, maybe for some more permanent type repairs, steel zip ties would do pretty good. And oh, Jeebus, wrench and the bolts. That's an interesting name, Josh. Josh has apparently changed his name to Wrench and the Bolts. I'm wondering how many of the bolts are there and who they might be. Some kind of collaborative super group, of course. Um, and I did see Renegade posted a picture on Instagram of his brand new super cool SK banner. That is very nice. I'm excited to see some of the other things that he got. I know he got the screwdriver set for sure, and that's the big set, the nice one. So it'll be interesting to see how those play out for him. I yeah, I got some work to do. So I'll replace the blower motor. I'll probably do. We'll see. I need content, so we'll probably do a video on it. Just something short. It's not in that Taurus. It's not hard to get to. I don't even think you really need to drop the glove box. You can if it makes you feel better, but I don't think it's necessary. So it should be pretty easy. I think the blower motor itself was like 35 bucks on Amazon. Speaking of the amazing company, apparently in some hot water right now, and a lot of people, I'm sure, hopefully it'll die down, but a lot of people upset about the current goings on. So there's a lot of calls to like stop shopping there and things, and I'm stuck for sure, right? But I try not to let, especially in a case like this, I try not to let, you know, my personal feelings get in the way of work. But it is mildly concerning, right? Amos Cardoza. God, I need my glasses fixed. Amos is here. Now the live stream can begin. Cardoza. Where did I come up with that? What does that even sound? Somebody's got to be named that. So Renegade says he got a screwdriver set, scraper set, work gloves, cleaning wipes, and the banner. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I remember the cleaning wipes and the work gloves for sure. Yeah, you'll have to let me know how those gloves do too, because I know they're more like the medium duty, right, gloves, but I think they have some of that rubber overmolding, but I don't think it's like a ton. It's not like the Ulsa gloves where it covers everything, I don't think. I think it's just like maybe like the mechanics style gloves, a little bit of overmolding. but really hard to get on. I need XL. Well, that sounds like a prime target for a quick giveaway. Easy, cheap. Speaking of giveaways, I thought about doing it tonight. I haven't got the time. I'll probably make some kind of impromptu video, hopefully this weekend. I gotta get rid of those damn tools that I got sitting around that are slated to be given away. I've so much, you know, stuff going on. It's hard. Like I can't even get my office or whatever you want to call this YouTube studio. I can't even get it fully in order. So I have a couple of days off here. We'll see what I can accomplish. And also I gotta start dreaming up some kind of different content, slightly different, tool related, I'm sure, car related, I'm sure, but I gotta be able to film some things in here from time to time. Thanks, Amos. Thanks. Yeah, I try to keep it trimmed every now and again. Uh, Back when I had hair, it kind of looked a little like Guy Fawkesish, like the what is it? Like the anonymous mask. I got that a lot. No, I'm not confused about your name, Josh. I was just wondering. Usually, when it's Benny and the Jets, there's a few Jets. I was just wondering if you were doing some more kind of collaborative content, maybe with like you, Austin, and maybe some other people. I wasn't sure. So, um, interesting things. The Facebook group Tool Sales and Deals is starting to come along. I think last I checked, we were at like 1,700, and it's starting to trickle off a little, but still tons of people coming in constantly. So, YouTubers, specifically guys, if you have the ability to get over there, and you can, I know I saw Mr. Brad actually post a couple of things on there, probably just testing out the waters to see how they do over there. I mean, it's not specifically just for promotion. Like, yes, I made it. I'm the admin, so you know I allow affiliate links. So Amazon affiliates, if you happen to be a brand ambassador for like Ulsa or one of these other brands, you could steer people if they were so inclined to those links for some amount of personal gain. But mainly it's about showcasing deals and whatever we can find that's cheap, affordable, hopefully effective for everybody. So, I mean, it ranges. I've posted a lot of like lower cost items, some like more specific higher cost items. I saw something the other day and I still can't get my wrap my head around like what exactly you would use it for, but it was a box, a breakout box for OBD2. So you would plug the car's OBD2 into this box, and then it would get its own power from the battery. And then you basically then had, your pinouts for all your connections. Um, Obviously, for some diagnostics there, but maybe I'm guessing if you have like an OBD2 problem, and your port's not working correctly, maybe that could help you diagnose it easier. Maybe there's some functionality there that I'm just not aware of, or maybe you want to isolate part of it to see if it's getting like an intermittent signal or something. Um, but I found that it was, and again, I try to be really good about finding things on there that aren't normal prices that are discounted down. Well, by that, what I mean is discounted down to a normal price. Because sometimes you'll see people do that. They'll bump the price up to something higher, then sell it for 40% off, and really you're paying what it would cost anyway. So I try, at least on my post, to make sure that that's not the case. But this thing was supposed to be about 150 bucks, and I think with all of the current deals and things, it was down to like 67, which again, I'm sure if you're in need of that kind of unit, that's not that bad of a price. Although, again, I can't, in recent memory, think of too many others that I've seen from anybody. Uh, so I'm not sure how useful it is, but it was there, so I posted it. Figured maybe somebody wants it. That moment when you forget to eat Jimmy John's, you don't forget to eat Jimmy John's. It's fast. It's right there to your door, Corona style. Oh, that's one thing that kind of irked me, right? So I'm out on my own now, as we all well know. And so before my marriage, I was doing and it was still pretty new at the time. I was doing like the grocery pickup stuff. And it was really kind of limited, and it was hard to like get good times because it was like a, like the new thing. There weren't that many people doing it, but they didn't have that many people in the store either doing it. So it was kind of iffy. Like sometimes you were a day or two out trying to pick up your stuff. But now that I'm out on my own again and I've started doing that again, just because it's easier, not because of Corona. I like the time savings. And it's, oh my God, like I put in an order on like a Friday night or something after I moved. And I was like, okay, like it's probably gonna like tell me to pick it up Saturday afternoon will be like the earliest time or something maybe. And so like I go to like pick my time and like it's like, do you want to pick this up? And like it was like 2 hours. It was like, what the like really? So well, and the stores close now overnight at some point. I don't know when. But they close overnight for cleaning and restocking and all that. So a lot more emphasis is like been put on that, and so that to me is kind of nice. I was already on the bandwagon before, but it's a lot quicker now, and I kind of like that way of shopping. Sometimes you forget something, you know, because you're doing like the online ordering, but I find a lot of times my bills decreased because I wasn't picking up that extra stuff that I saw on a shelf somewhere. Or I was like, oh, I want this, or oh, I'm going to add that, or oh, I'll just grab this. So I found myself spending even less money at the grocery store. Jamie says we'll never marry again personally. Incompatible with incompatible for another human being as a spouse. Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm at too. Um, I think I need to. I'm 37, about to be 38, and I make good money, but I don't have really enough or really much of anything at this point set up for retirement. Um, so I really got to focus on stacking some money, doing some things, side hustle, YouTube. You know, those kind of things. I want to be able to actually retire at like a decent enough age to enjoy it. And it doesn't need to be like that, like millionaire retiring kind of stuff, but at least not work the way that we're all working now, like killing ourselves or the you know the weekly grind, that kind of thing. I think by realistically about a decade ago I was saying 55. That seems like a pipe dream now unless something crazy happens. But yeah, so yeah, even 60, I think 57, 58, somewhere in there. I want to be able to retire and enjoy some of it. Yeah, I can see your chat, Renegade. Maybe if you were asking Jamie a question, maybe she missed it. She was talking of the woes of marriage, so that's distracting. Tonight I went to the land of. I, this is weird. Okay, hold on. Let me explain something to you. I got this camera, but it's such a wide shot that I had to crop it in to get this so you don't see all the other crap I have laying around this room. Uh, and so like it's off center from like I can hold it. I'm holding this directly in front of the lens right now, and it's way off to the side. So I have to do stuff like this to make it look right to me. I guess it's weird. But I'm drinking Asahi. It's a Japanese lager. This is the super dry. I think I've drank it on here before. It's very tasty. Imported, obviously, but oh, just so good. I'll never retire. I have 3 kids. I have 2, and I still have hope. So you can hope, Mark. It's I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean, it just depends on how you want to live, I guess. Um, a lot of people live more for today, so to speak, than tomorrow. And I'd like to be able to like leave my kids something someday, or at the very least, um, get them an education. So we'll see how I do. Princess Jamie said the clips didn't make it. I need to read this one. The clips didn't make it. Didn't take flight around the shop today. Unlike if I used regular pliers, I was rebuilding a drive shaft with them. Ah, and Mr. If it's not broken, fix it is here. Hello, ladies. How is everyone doing tonight? That's uh, a very long list of shout outs on there and everyone else who I missed. Um, Welcome to the stream, Fix It. Appreciate you stopping by. So, um, talking about decorations for this room, and somewhere, I don't know where, but somewhere I'm going to make a sticker wall. Mr. Autobahn Dan had sent me some stuff a while back. I think what I started doing a little while back, and it kind of sucks for the now. I started putting all these tool stickers and stuff on the side of my PC because it used to be right on my desk right here next to me. So it was kind of nice just to look over. So I have a bunch of really cool ones on my tower already, but I have some Autobahn Dan, and I forget who. Maybe it was Renegade. Somebody, somebody sent me a fuck ton of like I got Wea. I have some Snap-on stickers. I have this one, which has to be like more on the rare side. Mechanic on duty, Snap-on tools. It's even like I thought this was cool. It's even like printed on like Snap-on advertisement paper, it looks like, on the back. So they waste nothing in their advertisement. I also have some Work Pro stickers. Somewhere in my stuff, I have some vinyl stickers from Mr. Will over at JK Canvas. Um, and so I'm going to try to do, yeah, I thought it was you, Renegade, with the hose clamp pliers. So I'm going to try to do, I got to figure something out because I can't put them like on the wall. So I got to come up with, I don't know, maybe a poster board or something of that nature and just start tacking up stickers as I get them and order them and things. I've obviously been slacking. But not on the beer though. So I told my boss, because of the current situation, um, back to single parenting, I told my boss I really couldn't travel anymore. I said, if there's like a day trip, something like that, we can try to work that out. But I can't really travel. I was doing a decent amount of traveling, launching sites and different stuff. Yes, I'm watching Cobra Kai. I'm not. I'm only like a couple of episodes into season 3, so I can't binge it like the rest of the world, so don't ruin it for me. But yeah, I watch it. I started watching it. Here's a big secret for you guys. I always talk about how I got YouTube Premium, right? I have the ad-free, whatever the fuck. I actually signed up for that because of Cobra Kai. When it first came out, uh, they had like it was like 2, maybe 3 episodes were on YouTube, and then if you wanted to watch any more, you had to, pay and become a premium member. So I got YouTube Premium, and I never looked back. And honestly, I can't imagine what YouTube is like, having to watch ads and skip ads. And I'm sorry for you guys or anyone that does have to watch them on my channel, like mildly. Like obviously, it's a thing now and everyone does it. So what are you gonna do? But I know the experience of watching YouTube, being able to watch YouTube without ads, is so amazing. Like I watch YouTube more than I watch Netflix, so it's well worth it. Okay, I need to grab another beer. I think I'm gonna change it up though. I have something else I bought. We'll see what that is in a moment. All right, so this one is Ithaca Beer Company from Ithaca, New York. Apricot wheat. Now, I like the wheat beers, which is funny because somebody, I think it was Budweiser, I want to say it was Budweiser, a while back came out with like a wheat beer. Like it was real early on in like the whole craft beer phase and all that. Uh, but it was horrible. Like horrible. I couldn't stand it. But then when I really started getting into different craft beers and things, I found out that if the wheat is made right, it's tasty. Oh, that's good. That's really good. See, if you're gonna put fruit in beer, like you should taste it. I had that tangerine one. I think it was on stream, uh, and it wasn't. well, it was drinkable, but there just wasn't much tangerine flavor for a beer that had tangerines all over the damn packaging. Dano's toolbox is here. My northern brother, who is probably pretty happy about his current spot geographically. Renegade, it's like, I think, don't quote me, I think it's $10 a month. It's like $9.99 or whatever for YouTube Premium. You pay for YouTube Premium, and there are no ads on anything ever. Um, and fun fact, for the creators that you support, it's it's not equivalent because enough people don't have it. I've kind of talked about this before, but it's, I don't know. We'll call it 1,000. No, it's probably not even. It's probably like 2 cents, 5 cents. I don't know. But every time you watch a video, a small portion, it's called YouTube Premium Revenue. It's in your metrics once you get monetized. Every time that someone that watches Premium watches your content, you get some small fraction of something, cents, something, whatever. I don't know what the actual calculation is, but it's there. So if I watch your stuff and you're monetized, it might not be as lucrative as an ad, but no matter if there would have been an ad on that video at that time or not, you're still getting some small credit towards a few cents or something. Oh shit, it's Davion. What's going on, buddy? We are hanging out in the lovely new YouTube studio with door desks and not much else as far as decorations. It sounds like Ulsa Tools is going to send me, I know for sure they said a shirt for quote unquote decoration. So I'm going to find some creative way to display that. Michael Pro Tools, which is a lesser known tool company. Autobahn Dan, if you follow him on Instagram, has been posting some Michael Pro stuff. I'm sure some of it to some degree is sponsored, but none of us care about any of that. But they're a small up and coming tool company, kind of like Ulsa was 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And so I'm not saying everything they make is great, but they have a few quirky items. They have a finger activated ratchet. It's kind of like the Facom twist ratchet, to my understanding, except this has like a little 2 finger pull bar on the handle. So if you get into a tight place and you don't have a swing arc, and assuming that it's loose enough for this action to actually work, you can utilize that finger pull, and it'll turn the ratchet. So they have a few interesting things, and so I got a hold of them asking them if they had a banner or anything to give me for decorations. They said no, but they would send me out some tools. So I'm waiting. Who else? There's somebody else is sending me something too, but it's a lot less than I had hoped for. SK pointed me to their website where they sell banners. I said that already. Probably not gonna buy one. At least not for now. I don't do a whole lot of SK. I mean, I do when I need to, but especially like right now, uh, you know, you don't need a lot of SK stuff to fix what I'm fixing, which is you know the shards of midlife crisis or whatever this is. You fix a midlife crisis with duct tape, right? Yeah, duct tape and hookers. So yeah, we're gonna get some things up, Davion, and try to fix some of this white ass room. The light is so blinding that if I wouldn't have those tools on this bench, it's just flush with white, which I like. Don't get me wrong. After living in my wife's house, where every wall was some kind of color, white is a welcome change, but it's bad for a shop like this. So let me catch back up at the chat. My Tack Life cordless ratchet is here in spirit because when I was putting together these tables, I hadn't gone to the storage unit to really grab a bunch of stuff. And so I only had this one socket in the Tack Life that was a 1/4 inch socket that actually went on the ratchets. So I used this on the Milwaukee and bits and was able to get these door desk things together. Funny enough, that the cordless ratchet, I mean, it is the Milwaukee, it's right back there. It is the Milwaukee, but it drove screws into 2x4s. I was kind of worried because, what is it, like, I don't have the spec sheet, but maybe like 40, maybe 50 foot-pounds of torque. I kind of figured I'd be hand ratcheting it by the end of it. But no, it actually drove all the screws like really well, considering I was surprised. So yeah, it's here in spirit. It's actually in the other room. If you go over and check out my Patreon page, Davion, if you care that much and you have something like 5 or 6 minutes, I do like a walkthrough on there. It's a public post on Patreon, so you don't have to be a donor or anything. But I did a video and put it up there so that people could see and give me suggestions. And unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of suggestions. Bruce L commented on it. Brad from Brad's Workbench commented on it. I can't remember at the moment. Maybe Mark C might have gone over there and commented on it. Not too many people, but I was looking for. Here's my idea. I got this room. Currently, here's my computer. My idea is to take like a section of this table somewhere and make it like one kind of backdrop. Maybe take like another corner of the room, make it another for like different shots. Seeing as how most of what I do will be inside to some degree. That's also another thing. I've been trying to think of what kind of content I can give to you guys and other people that I'm able to film without a garage and a car in it and stuff like that. I'm really limited in terms of the maintenance, I guess I could say I could get away with here at the apartment. I do have a big lot that we use, but mostly limited to like working inside the car, small, really quick stuff. Like I'm not going to be doing anything major, no body work, anything like that. I think they'd probably, if I changed like a flat tire or something, I don't think it'd be a big deal. But if I had something up on jack stands for longer than like a couple hours, something would probably get said, one of those kinds of things. The blower motor that I have to replace, I think I'm good because it's inside. I don't like the fuel Milwaukee ratchet but the non-fuel looks more usable and the head is thinner. Yeah, that's what that is. It's the non-fuel. You're talking about the fuels, the gray head, the bigger, it's thicker, it's got, for lack of a better term, 90-degree angles on it. Yeah. Uh, Maybe it has more power, I'm guessing. But yeah, I the first time I think I saw those, I thought, like, why? Why would you do that? Oh, and I never really like examined the electric ratchets. It's actually, at least in the Milwaukee there, and I'm sure everyone else probably copies this. There's a little pin that sways that. I'm going to call it a pendulum, but we know that it's not. The weight that helps move everything, there's a little pendulum in there, and it's just rotated, knocked back and forth by this little circulating pin. So I gotta kind of wonder, like I was thinking about that, like I don't know of too many like mechanical failures on the electric ratchets, but I kind of wonder how strong that is. The backwoods mechanic, that's how I did things before I got shop. What did backwoods say? Kitchen tables make good benches. Yeah, a lot of garages out here in Ohio end up with like reclaimed kitchen counters in them. They really do make good workbenches. You're not kidding. This was my cheapest alternative, and I mean they don't look horrible. I thought about maybe someday in the future. My brother was in the live stream last week and said something about getting like contact paper kind of stuff. But I mean, that stuff's pretty weak. We know it's not really made for abrasives, but they do have. I don't know if it's vinyl or what it is. It's listed as like leak proof, maybe cut resistant, something like that. It's basically like one of those sheets to go over kitchen counters and things. Um, so maybe that'll be an option if I can find a print that's not flowers and hummingbirds. Yeah, sometimes standing on a lug nut wrench doesn't work well. You got to jump like a trampoline. Yeah, that is very true. The amount of four ways, the old style four ways, which I'm not saying they've gotten a little beefier over time, but like the old style ones, like everybody's old ass four way was always bent. You'd see them with the twist where you could tell that they rotated and kind of bent a little. Some were like straight bent. You go to spin it and it's all wobbling in your hands. You're struggling to keep a hold of it. Those old four ways seem to be a lot weaker as far as, but I almost kind of like that better. I would rather the excuse me. I would rather the metal actually twist and contort like that rather than just snap it. I know you get more strength, with the brittle metal, but there's that fine line there. I wish they could dance a little better because nowadays it just seems like they try to make everything so hard it fucking snaps and busted knuckles and everything else. Oh, it's a pain in the ass. Because you're, yeah, what, 110 soaking wet? It's not because you're a girl. Yeah, yes, Jamie. I will say that you are not, um, you know, seemingly, you don't have as much ass as most people are putting into it. No pun intended. Uh, and I'm the same. Well, I'll say I used to be the same way. I was like 135 forever in my 20s. And then somewhere in there, I jumped up to like 150. And I was holding steady at 150 for a while. Somehow now I'm up to 180 and I'm getting fat. So this isn't helping. Don't condone this. Which one of you is my sponsor? Isn't that what they're called? Somebody's got to stop me. No, really, I don't have a problem. I don't get to drink hardly, really at all now if I'm working and I have my daughter. And because I have to take her to the babysitter and then come back home and go to sleep and get up at a ridiculous hour in the morning and be at work by 5 now. I changed my hours to have more waking time with my daughter. Whew, so yeah, I get to drink, maybe like actually drink. I mean, maybe have a beer when I get home from dropping her off or something, possibly. But I get to actually drink on Wednesdays with you guys. And then, yeah, depending on if I have the kids or not, I might be able to have a beer once we're done running and everything. But yeah, no real alcohol problems. It's my only vice. Like it's all I have to do. I have to really relax. I find creative ways to turn wrenches and break fasteners loose. Um, there's something to be said about the striking wrenches, I believe they are referred to as. You wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but the damn things really do work well. Over on the industrial side, especially when we got into a lot of the bigger things, it was almost like a necessity. Actually, yeah, past a certain point, it is a necessity. And those striking wrenches, they do well, they hold up well, they don't seem to be very special as far as the open end or the boxed end, depending on what you're using. But I will say, we didn't have a whole lot of problem with like stripping stuff out or rounding off fasteners with it. But then again, you're dealing with a bolt or nut that's this big or bigger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, but not that many people are really making that kind of stuff anymore. There's a few companies still out there, but all the big stuff seems to have gone wayside. Everything's mechanic size now for the most part, or industrial. So you have this big divide. I was thinking of trying to come up with maybe like a talking head kind of video about the differences, some of the differences between like industrial maintenance and mechanics, like, because it's really, I've said this before, I'm sure, but it's really so vastly different. I saw something for the first time the other day. One of the industrial maintenance techs on like the Facebook group posted a picture of his like Snap-on box, and I thought that was crazy. And I was curious what company he worked for, that he's industrial and he gets Snap-on, because I mean it's extremely rare. I mean, unless somebody picked something up on their own or brought it in from home, you don't really see the Snap-on guys getting to cross over into the industrial world like that. They're not valued the same way. Uh, and that whole customer service thing, can you go to fucking hell with that? Like, and the industrial side, I currently work for one of the largest companies in the world, and our people seem to, and I've asked other guys, everybody seems to agree with me. Our contractors and people that we deal with, suppliers and whatnot, they seem to treat us like shit. Like you would think that they'd be happy to have like a contract of this caliber. Doesn't seem like it. Like it really doesn't. Like I ordered something back in the beginning of November. Yeah, beginning in November. Supposed to have a 2 week lead time. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I am still waiting on it. Supposedly, it's supposed to be here next week. Early next week. But it's just stuff like that, man. Like I get part shortages and things, but these are common parts that should never be on back order like that. I don't understand it. And it seems to happen a lot. Like it's gotten to the point where for most tools and things, I order if I can find it on Amazon, I order off of Amazon through my procurement specialist so that I get the benefits of the Amazon shipping, which is kind of stupid because it goes through my building, right? It's over there on a pallet or something somewhere, goes down my conveyor belts, gets sorted and out to a driver. The driver leaves the station to deliver their route, and then at some point their route tells them to come back to the station to deliver the package that I ordered. So that's a little weird, but it works. I kind of asked them if there was a way to like flag, but there's not. We don't really. I mean, they scan things, but not like that to where they could easily just pull it off to the side. They're moving so fast, they don't have time for that. So currently, that's the way it goes. But yeah, like the whole difference between the industrial guys and the mechanics is just it's huge. And then even on the industrial side, right? You can have one guy who's industrial HVAC, one guy who's, industrial refrigeration, who's, one guy who's technically an industrial tech but does the, you know, systems for server rooms to keep those cool, which is still kind of HVAC, but there's probably some other stuff in there. You have guys that are controls guys that, do all of that, more PLC and programming oriented guy. Like, so the gambit of how big the wide range is of what, I mean, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, you can be anything on the industrial side almost. And the mechanics, I'm not, lumping them all together, but they work on cars. There's the heavy equipment and the few little subgenres, but it's mostly it. Heavy mechanics, maybe the big super heavy equipment guys that do the giant dump trucks and stuff. You have your NASCAR guys that do that kind of, stuff, the hot rods and things, but it's not as diverse, in my opinion, as the industrial side. Yeah, it's a different type of abuse on tools. I will say the mechanics use their tools more often. Most industrial guys, depending on what they're doing, um, their tools kind of sit, and wait for use. Mechanics are constantly wrenching. Now, something like I have a Crescent 17, well, it's in storage, but I have a Crescent 17 millimeter somewhere, ratcheting wrench, that I bought. My company that I was working for was slacking, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get them to get me a 17. Don't ask me why. So I said, fuck it, and I bought my own. I bought that Crescent. And this was real early in my industrial career, so that damn thing's old at this point. And that it's still holding up great. I mean, and that was, 17's a common size. It was a super common size in our factory, and I used it all the time, like literally all the time. It's my most used wrench, even above like a 13 or a 10, and still kicking, still doing good. The teeth on the open end are a little, marred up maybe here and there, but not wide enough to where it doesn't fit fasteners or anything. I mean, it's good. So yeah, that's interesting. It's a whole different kind of wear. A mechanic would be able to tell you if a tool's worthwhile quicker, uh, in the longevity side of things than an industrial guy. It might take him a little longer to get that same kind of use out of it. Uh, Bill Beckett says, I am fixing a car for an airplane mechanic. The only truck who goes onto the property is Matco. Over 50 techs in one place. And see, yeah, that's the other thing about tool companies. That's weird. That's weird. That's very strange because I know that, yeah, that I will say the aircraft guys seem to be, they seem to, they're their own little special kind of something. Ask Everyday Fleet Tech, right? He works at the airport, and he has a lot of Snap-on, USA Made, Proto, that kind of stuff. SK, I don't think I've heard him talk a lot about SK, specifically, but I think he has some. But yeah, it's weird to see them because they still somehow fall under the umbrella of mechanic, but I think they're more along the lines of industrial, right? To a degree, but they're still susceptible to the damn tool trucks. I don't get why. Like, you're going to be hard pressed for any factory, any real manufacturing center to have a tool truck even stop by. Like, it's just not. Like, they order from Grainger, they maybe have, McMaster Car or whoever else, but yeah, they're not. I don't. They don't do the tool trucks. We just don't. And even Grainger. Oh my God, bust heads. I mean, I guess at least with Snap-on and the tool trucks in general, when you overpay, you're at least getting quality. Sometimes on Grainger, for instance, you over fucking pay for like Westward. If you don't know what Westward is, Westward is the Pittsburgh Pro of the industrial side because Grainger is industrial supply. They have their own Westward brand, and they will remanufacture, rebrand stuff under the Westward name to sell it. So it's like the low cost alternative in a lot of cases on Grainger. And I bought one. Well, I'm not going to say it's all bad, just like the Pittsburgh Pro stuff. I love some of my Pittsburgh Pro stuff. It's some of the best stuff I have. But, that was fun. But, I bought this, like, mechanics tool set, right? Because what they gave us was shit. So I wanted like a decent socket set, some half-inch stuff, all that. So I bought this pretty comprehensive mechanics tool set, and it was Westward, and it's not horrible, right? I'm not trashing it, but we paid way too much. Way too much. It's just the markup at Grainger is so bad, and all the industrial houses do it. So I guess that's one good thing. At least when you overpay for something from a tool truck, chances are you're getting a relatively quality tool. Matco, Mac, Snap-on, what have you. I did hear, if you guys haven't, I was in one of Rust Belt's live streams, and he said that SP Tools is starting up the what I'm going to call the beta of their tool truck program, and I believe they're starting it up in Alabama. That's where they're based out of. So I think they're rolling out slow from there. But I hear they're looking for people to take on these trucks. I watch some of CP stuff. I've heard him ramble on about some of what it takes to get to be a whatever that is. I guess a franchisee, tool truck owner. But yeah, apparently SP Tools is getting into the game. All right, fix it. I appreciate it. Have a good night, sir. Take care. 4 a.m. does come early. I appreciate you staying in this long. Usually I get up about that same time, a little earlier, and I'm usually out by about 9:30. So you're right on time. Okay, so what did I miss? Snap-on comes by when needed. So, like, you call them, Jamie? Yeah, you do need capital to do that. You have to prove assets and things. And I mean, I guess you're kind of your own boss, but you're really not. Like that whole, if I'm gonna be my own boss, I'm going, all in. I'm gonna. Would you get in trouble? Here's a question. Could you get in trouble for making your own Harbor Freight tool truck? You think there's like a thing that says you can't resell? I mean, I don't know of any. It's not like you sign some agreement when you buy something at Harbor Freight, but that'd be interesting. I've kind of wondered how long it was going to be before the Harbor Freight tool truck would come about. And now that they got the Icon and that's expanding, I think they're inching closer and closer. Um, and I mean, I hate to fucking say it, but, and I know mechanics probably don't agree with me, that might not be such a bad thing. There's a lot of good tools. The pneumatics, um, the impacts and things, I've heard a lot of good things about them. Obviously, everybody loves the 5-drawer tech cart and a lot of the U.S. General toolboxes. I think that if they actually dipped into the tool truck game, I think they could probably outperform Snap-on. It'd take a while, but I think they could because all of the young techs and everybody starting out, nobody wants to get that far into debt, especially when you're not even sure necessarily if you're going to be there in another 5 years. And Facebook Marketplace is rife with the pickings of toolboxes and tools from guys that got out of the field after a few years or whatever have you. But I think a little more work, a little more stuff. I don't want to say from Icon because I feel like Icon is just one step above the Pittsburgh Pro. I think the Pittsburgh Pro is fine for most people, but if you had the tool truck coming from Harbor Freight, say weekly, I don't think you'd be as worried about breaking that tool. You know what I mean? I don't think it'd be as big a deal if it broke, which people break Snap-on shit all the time. So probably at what, like a quarter the price? Easy. Digital torque wrench from Quinn, I think is around. I think the half inch is like 200. Now I'm gonna have to look. Harbor Freight. Digital. Oh, fucking pop up shits. Why is my work phone's ringing? Oh no, it's less than I thought. The digital torque wrench, the the half inch is 169.99, and the 3/8 drive is 159. Now that's a dick move. Like, I mean, I get the internals are about the same, but it's a lot shorter. Um, Obviously, the head's smaller. That could be a little cheaper. I think the 3/8 should be, but 169 for a digital torque wrench. How much is a Snap-on one? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. You're talking 300-400 easy before financing. Yes, the CDI is nice, and that's the the blue point to snap on, I guess. All the snap on torque wrenches I've heard are made by CDI, the official branded one. So then a CDI is basically, you know, the same brand but a different name. So rebranded, I guess you would say. Not really, because CDI makes it, whatever that is. But yeah, the CDI are nice. It was a deal. It was a while back, but there was a deal I found. I want to say it was on Amazon for a pretty good price on a CDI torque wrench, and I posted that in like the mechanics toolbox talk Facebook group or whatever. I don't think anybody actually bought it, but everybody liked the post because they know CDI is basically Snap on. 500 now is that even digital? Renegade? I don't think that's digital. I think the digital. Well, I mean, okay, yeah, it probably is digital, but yeah, still, I mean, you're talking half the price, less than half the price. It would make a killing. It unfortunately it would, and especially if they upgrade the quality, which it looks like not all of it's rebranding and renaming, which they're doing a lot of. But I've noticed some of those tools, the specialty tools like the brake bleeders and things like that, they're actually getting to be slightly better quality. The prices are coming up, obviously, because of the tariffs in China and all that. But it's, I guess time will prove if I'm right. Once they get some more of those specialty tools, they've already upgraded their scan tools, and they have. I've heard some pretty decent things about what is there. Is there's I don't want to misspeak. Is it Altel? I'm right here on their damn site anyway. OBD2 Zurich. Yeah, they have, and I'm not even seeing the big boy on here. They have one that's like pretty nice for like 300 now, but in the store, I want to say like they got that like $1,100 one, unless they discontinued it or something. But yeah, they had that one, and I've heard some decent things about it. So, is it a snap-on? No. Is it going to work, flawlessly for every make and model of vehicle? Probably no. but just the cost savings, man. I mean, you're talking like what, 1,100, maybe 1,200 bucks, I think, for one from Harbor Freight for the big boy. And God, I don't even want to know what a Snap-on one costs. The big unit with all the different adapters and everything, you're probably talking like 2,500 or more. Uh, yeah, I know you got the Olsa digital torque wrench. I saw that video. I think I even commented on there that I was asking for the wrong shit because I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think you said, Renegade, that you had asked for that, and I guess I never thought to ask for like the really nice stuff. I was just like, oh, okay, like, do you have, you know, shit, what was some of the early stuff? I think I was real fixated on the backpack when I first started talking to them, and they sent me one as like a. It was kind of like, I think Mark. I was emailing back and forth with Mark from Ulsa, and I was getting married at the time. Lovely celebration, and some other stuff, and for all the troubles and everything going on, he basically said he was sending it to me as a gift, yada yada yada. Basically it was no real meaning behind it, but something nice, and he had kind of threw it on the table beforehand, like, oh well, like I was thinking something like the backpack, and so I took the backpack. I still have it. It's not here. It's in storage because it's full of tools. Right now, you can't see it off camera, but I have my Work Pro backpack, the old version. Apparently, if you ask Dan McKevitt, Tools and Bagels, um, he has the new version of the Work Pro backpack. Um, I was happy with the one that I have. I was using it for work for quite a while when I was traveling. Early on, I was going to some sites without tools and things, so I would load that thing up with most of what I felt I needed and carry on. And it's doing really well. It doesn't get as much use right now, but it still holds everything well, and is doing really good over time. But now they have a new one, or at least they had a new one. I don't even know. Let's see what Amazon says. Work Pro backpack. You know what? I think that's weird. I like Work Pro a lot. Oh no, they do still have my style. It is still there. My style. Let me go get it so I can show you. Oh, it's got shit in it. It's heavy. Or heavier than I wanted it to be anyway. So, this is the style I'm talking about. Full red face, Work Pro logo on black. This one is on Amazon right now. It's $49.99, and it's got a $5 coupon that I see, so you can get it for $44.99 right now. The new style that Dan McKevitt has is like more black with some red accents. Still got like the high vis strip and things. It looks to be slightly bigger. Don't quote me on that. Pictures can be deceiving, but the new one is $69.99, and it's got a 10% coupon. So that is running it at $62.99 after the coupon. So you got $44.99 for my old style, $62.99 for the new style. But if the new one is anything like this one, get into the frame. if it's anything like this one, it's it's good. And I'm surprised because like the bottom of this thing, you can't see all the details because of the lighting, but it's got these little pads now. They help, but they're not much. But the bottom has like solid plastic under the nylon, and these pads are big enough that it's actually done really well over just kind of throwing this thing around. So I am gonna grab another beer. 6 lovely people in the chat. I'll be right back. Okay, back on the Asian persuasion. Need to rate kids' toys? Yeah, that's a good way to get your channel banned. Yeah, that's or the kids' tool toys. That'd be a good one. Except the only problem is, and I thought about this, like 'cause my son is obsessed with YouTube and thinks it's really cool that I'm a YouTuber, and he keeps wanting to like record videos. And I've recorded some stuff. I let him work the camera a little bit on one of my videos. Not the best cameraman, because he gets distracted. But um, I thought about like maybe shooting some videos for him and things. But the problem with YouTube anymore with kids channels, there's no comments and it's just gonna get like buried. Like there's no recourse for a kids channel anymore. Basically, if you're not already established, at least per my knowledge, it's not worth the hassle to try to make any kids type related content. Renegade went to get coffee. Once you become an influencer or ambassador, you have to tell them what you would review next. Well, maybe that's the thing I never did that I should have did. I'm not gonna say they offered it to me. I'm not gonna say they offered it to me, but I will say it was mentioned to me at some point there early on when I started. I think it was after the backpack review. The backpack review did really good, and sadly, they don't sell it anymore. And this just goes to show you how real some of us tool tubers are. My buddy, best friend, Brad's Workbench. I'm gonna say he got it from also like it was a product sponsorship or whatever. He got the Ulsa Tool backpack and he was not a fan. That video is still up, and he's like, yeah, no, not feeling it. But in his defense, it was a higher cost at that time. Even when I got it from them, it was right around, I think, $100, maybe 90, somewhere in there. It was still a pretty pricey bag, which I still feel, and I'll still state that it was completely worth that, right? Um, but Brad tore it up. He wasn't about it. But later, I will say later, shortly after my video, they had a sale, probably like their, the last run or whatever, trying to get rid of stock. And they had a sale on the backpack. I wanna, don't quote me, but I wanna say it got down to as low as like, it was like 55 or $60 or something. I mean, it was a damn good deal. And even at that price point, Brad had to come back on, and I saw him. I believe he made like a community post, and he came in and he said like, yeah, like I didn't give this thing like a stellar review. Most of that was because of some issues that he saw with it or whatever, and mostly the price point. But he said at this price, it being discounted this much, it's not, a bad deal. It's still, a solid backpack. So you might want to consider picking it up. So I mean, once the price kind of changed a little, his viewpoint changed a little too. But yeah, I mean that just goes to show you, I love Brad. I support him on Patreon. Uh, yeah, I watch all his videos, even if they don't necessarily pertain to me. Buy his merch. Great. Great guy. That reminds me, damn it, I gotta get over and buy a Tools and Trash shirt. That's what I need on the wall behind me. I need a Tools and Trash shirt. But even though we get along, and we converse and things and all that, like there's been a couple of things that we're just, on different sides of. He thinks for whatever reason the same tool is not very good. Um, and I think, differently or better of the same tool. And it just kind of goes to show you that, we're not all hopping on here and just saying what everybody wants to hear. We're not just saying, holy shit, Yoda Doug's here? Oh, well, we've officially hit the second. Oh, no, we're not even on the second hour yet. Yoda Doug's here, West Coast living. Oh, God, man, how's things up there? How is everything going on the West Coast? Because I know over here, for the most part, it still feels like business as usual, even though based upon current events, it's not. And client graphics, man, Yoda Doug, followed by client graphics. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting some people in the stream. Hi, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. The Husky 18-inch backpack is like $30, and the 16-inch is like $40. Just says, I'm not a backpack fan. And it depends on who, like what you're doing. They're great for trips to the junkyard to get parts and things like that. I mean, if you're four wheeling and stuff like Princess Jamie and you're out and about, I mean, yeah, you can throw some stuff in the back of your vehicle, chances are, but the ability to have a backpack to just kind of scoop that up and say somebody else's vehicle breaks down and you need to take something over, it's very nice in a lot of instances. Like me, where I was traveling as a technician there for quite a while, I would have taken the Ulsa. I really would have. But at the time, the Ulsa is much bigger, and for lack of a better term, this looks more like a backpack. The Ulsa Tool backpack looked more like a tool backpack, heavier duty, bigger. You could fit some shit in it. I mean, you can still fit a lot in this, but the Ulsa Tool backpack looked a lot more enticing. And when I'm going into areas I don't know and, things like that, I like to try to blend in. So something that looked like a regular backpack versus something that looked like a tool bag, I thought was a wise choice at the time. So I use a Husky pack out box for the trail box. Yes, and see, I keep saying this. I love Husky. I do over Lowe's and Home Depot, probably because when I first bought my house, right? I bought a house. I built up my credit, yada yada yada, paid off debts, bought a house. This was years ago, and so I'm a new homeowner. Lowe's is in my town. Home Depot is in the next town over, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a longer drive to get to Home Depot, much longer. So I went to Lowe's first, and I was looking for like an appliance or something, but you know I had credit, but for whatever reason, I wanted to attempt to open up a store credit card at the time, thinking that was a good idea. Lowe's denied me and wouldn't give me any credit. And then I left there and I went straight to Home Depot and I applied and I got approved. Now, I didn't get approved for a very high limit, but I did get approved. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you. That played a decent part. Like, I always kind of felt like I'm poor. I'm not, but I am, I was. I always feel like I'm gonna be. So, when they accepted me where Lowe's didn't, I kind of felt like kind of personally offended. Not offended, but kind of it's insulting, especially to apply for something like credit and to get turned down for it. That's upsetting. And I didn't have any glaring issues. Obviously, I just bought a house, so Home Depot accepted me, and I still have that credit card. I still think, which is weird because I have a huge credit limit on like everything else. I have great credit, and my Home Depot card is still sitting at like $700. I think is the limit. Like it's not high. Um, so it's kind of interesting to see that, but for that and other various reasons, I just feel that I feel like the quality and the selection is maybe slightly better at Lowe's. Maybe slightly better. But I feel like Husky and Home Depot offer a better value and still are great tools. Like I got that Cobalt set, the wrenches that you see there in the background standing up. And somebody told me, and I didn't know they existed at the time, but somebody told me Husky makes like a set that's almost identical. I think they were a little older, maybe like they came out before, and I was catching like the tail end of it because they seem to be hard to find. I could find them on like eBay, but not on Home Depot. But apparently, Husky made that same set for a while. Welcome to the world of rebranding. Client Graphics says, oh damn, my chat keeps moving. Client Graphics says, I haven't done the store card thing for any hardware stores. I think that would not be a good idea for me. You are correct, sir. Um, Chris, good question. Now that I got you here, have you LLC'd your YouTube channel? Because, far be it from me and most of, uh, our other people currently, but you're one of the biggest YouTubers that seems to frequent my live streams. And I kind of wondered about that because according to Social Blade, which I know is wrong, but you make like it looks like a mildly substantial amount before taxes and all the other stuff that goes into doing what you do. You seem to make like a decent amount. Have you LLC'd and actually turned your channel into a legitimate business? Because I'm going to do that after the divorce is finalized, and everything's clear. Then I'm actually going to LLC and then for the first time ever start pulling all my AdSense money. I need an LLC or something like that. Yeah, it's really a good idea. The only thing is, as I was told, this is third party knowledge from financial advisor and accountant. He basically told me you have to turn a profit, or at least here in Ohio. I'm sure based on where you're at, it might be slightly different, I'm assuming. But he said here in Ohio that you need to turn a profit within the first 3 years, even if that's $1. You have to turn a profit, or you can like lose your LLC because they don't. You can't argue that you're a business if you're bleeding money year after year, I guess. So you need to turn a profit eventually, which for me, he was just saying would basically just be controlling your claims. I mean, if you claim less than your profit, then you profit. That's a shit way to say it, but yeah. So if you claim less than you write off, or if you make more than you claim, then you have profit. So he was basically saying like, yeah, you might have spent $1,500 that year, right, in all things that you could write off. But he goes, if we're in the third year and if you haven't made any profit yet, then we're going to control your claims that you try to write off so that you show a profit so that you can keep. But he goes, ideally, once you're making, more profit than you're definitely spending, then he goes that at that point that's when you do the go for broke. We're claiming everything, the paper clips for the office, the everything, trying to get everything out of it. But he goes, before that you want to strategically claim based on showing a profit. If not claiming tools or some expenses for a couple of things would mean the difference between making a profit and not, then don't try to write them off. Just go ahead and take the profit, pay the taxes on the profit, and then you get to continue. He said it's the difference between running a business and having a hobby. Business is profitable. A hobby is something you do that costs money. No. I don't think she would. She hates the channel anyway. Um, but I think, uh, as I stare at the divorce papers over yonder, or dissolution, or whatever it technically is, she doesn't want, she already, we already negotiated out pretty much everything. It's as amicable as it can be, I guess, at this point, especially with like all the stuff and the finances and all that. Um, at this point, there's really nothing that needs to change hands. She's not interested. Plus, I don't have a lot in my AdSense. I only made a few $100s. I've only been monetized since August. Now, Jamie, that's when you need to LLC. If your hobby makes you money and you have a substantial amount of profit on that, then it depends on what that profit is. Is it under the table? If it's under the table, then under the table. But if it's something that you're considering actually making a legitimate run at and doing something like that, opening up a shop or an engine shop or a repair shop, then the benefits come from if you're already having to claim that income, right? By not LLCing, you can't write off all the stuff that you can when you do LLC. When you do, like, okay, for instance, and I was toying with this mentally for a while, but obviously my life is in shambles, and I couldn't focus enough to get all my ducks in a row. But I rent out my house that I own, thus apartment. But so I rent out my house, and I was talking to my accountant about that, and he goes, "Okay, so you get to write off all your mileage that you have to go over there." He goes, "Even if you just swing by to look at the property to kind of like visually inspect the outside." Doug, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You just made the stream worth more than probably my last 10 videos. But, as I was saying, if I go over there basically for any reason, then I get to write off that mileage. So that's cool. But he was saying if, let's just say if, I wanted it to take it a step further. My old truck that I had that I sold, the Sonoma, right, that I painted and everything. He said if I were to designate, right, if I were to LLC, or well, I don't even think on that I would have to LLC. I don't remember the entire conversation, but if I wanted to go a step further, I could have put the truck as a quote-unquote company vehicle, that this is my designated vehicle for repairs and service calls and things to the house. And so then at that point, the truck, all its gas, the maintenance on it, oil changes, everything, spare parts, all of that would be a write-off too, because, oh my God, what are you guys doing? So the idea there is that but at that point, it's a work truck. Now, could I, on the sly, every now and again, maybe drive it for something? Yeah, probably, and be okay. But at that point, I would have to have commercial tags on it, and primarily, to my knowledge, and I'm sure there's a ratio or something, but primarily it needed to be drove for those purposes, for, the house or whatever you would call it, to repairs and such. So that's the kind of interesting stuff. Like here's an idea. Okay, just an idea. So Lynn Westover Jr. Holy shit. Thank you, sir. Guys, Lynn is from He is the husband of the YouTuber that I've talked about often, Allison Morrow. And we've talked about her slightly before, and then after her channel blew up, she's mainstream media newscaster. She left that a while ago to work on her family and to do her own thing, and now she has a channel on YouTube. So she does as unbiased as you can in today's world, and real, like, actual reporting, live streams, videos, news, and she has like a plethora of contacts from her dealings in the mainstream media. So she has like really good guests. I actually like it better than like Tim Pool's channel. Um, and some of the other options that we have out there. It's just, it's better reporting. It's more in depth. So if you guys get the chance, I will post a link in the description here in just a few moments when I get everything pulled up. But yeah, that is Lynn. That is her husband. He helps her run the channel. They just had a new baby early. Damn it! I want to say it was earlier this year, but I know it was 2020 now, so it was either, I want to say it was like November, December, somewhere in there. So they just had an addition to the family, and her channel blew up. One video is all it takes, guys, for a channel to really get out there. And it's not that we're all in some dark corner. It's just that people haven't found us yet. Sometimes it's that one video that just, makes you explode like hers did. And then just overnight, she went from, I don't know, a few thousand subscribers, maybe like 3K or so, somewhere in there, to now she's sitting at, I think, about 80. And her live streams like consistently have thousands of people in them. It's kind of nuts to see how much has changed. But so again, thank you, Len. Thank you, Princess Jamie. I appreciate it, and I am drinking mildly expensive beer, so that makes it all the better. But so what I was saying, back to the point about the LLC. So let's say you buy a project car for video, and that costs you, let's just say, $1,000. And so you spend $1,000 on this car, and you do a bunch of videos on it. You buy parts. Let's say parts for said car are $500. Let's say other stuff, maybe camera stuff, whatever, other expenses for these videos and such, and this project cost you another $400. So you've got $1,000 from the car, $500 from parts, $400 in expenses. You make a bunch of videos. You make a bunch of videos, you do the videos, you put them out there, whatever. Then let's say, for whatever reason, you decide to sell the car. You sell the car for whatever you sell it for. So now you get the car, the price of the car, because it was a project car for videos, is a write-off. The parts for the car, the tools that you may have bought to do the work on the car, write-off. Then the profit from selling the car you get, right? And so then you can do your analysis there on whether or not it was profitable. But then you get all the revenue, assuming that you're monetized from YouTube for those videos. So then you get that. And we all know that kind of builds up over time. It takes time. So it may not be so quick. But it may still pay off in the end. But then it's that kind of double profit idea. You get to buy something and maybe fix it, sell it, whatever. And so then you get to do that and still, lessen that impact on any loss that you may take from that project. But then by doing videos, assuming that you're a big enough channel and that it actually makes that much of a difference, that can mean the difference between the profitability. And once you get into the higher echelons of, some of these YouTubers, some of these guys that buy a Lamborghini and fix it, the videos, they get tons of video views anyway. They're getting more than enough money from the videos alone to pay for the whole thing. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the whole thing's, a write-off, and that, then again, at some point when they're done with that vehicle for whatever sense of purpose, they sell it, and that becomes, a part of the profit loss ratio. So then you have to make a lot less money on the videos. That's like me. Okay, so real world example. I bought maybe $15. Maybe I have to look it up. Maybe $15. I bought keys and key fobs that I needed for the soon-to-be XY Cicadia, right? It only came with one key, didn't have any fobs. So I bought more keys, had them cut, programmed them, right, and the fobs. Jesus, my phone wants to go off. I have no idea what the... Okay. So I bought the keys and the key fobs. I needed them. Like, I was going to have to do this anyway. But I filmed a YouTube video. Now, the sad thing to this is I only got monetized halfway through. So at the time I got monetized, the video had like 30K views. So it was already big for my channel. So no money up to that point. But then I got monetized. The video was still is doing pretty well. I have made... I'll have to pull it up. Thankfully, it'll be at the top of the list because it's my highest grossing video. Filter by monetization. Oh, no. I'll go to the dashboard. It'll pull it up quicker. Publish videos. Oh, wait. What? Oh, really? Oh, I need to go to analytics. That's why. I go to monetization. So I paid like maybe $20 for... Okay, here it is. Okay, so I maybe paid $20 for since published. Okay, so I maybe paid $20 or so for these keys and key fobs that I needed anyway. I filmed this video in a few minutes in a parking lot. I think I've told you guys that already. I've made, since I got monetized, which is only about half of what I would have made otherwise, I've made currently to date $216.14 off a video for keys and key fobs that I was already going to have to make anyway. Like, that's the whole idea behind the YouTube thing, is some people do videos just for the videos, and sometimes that's not necessarily that bad, but sometimes it is. Like me buying all those 1/4-inch ratchet sets, like this Capri right here. I can't get my thumb to do the thing right because my stuff's mirrored. But where I bought all those 1/4-inch ratchet sets, where I bought the bulletproof wrenches for about $200, give or take, and did those videos. Unfortunately for me and my wallet, those videos have not come anywhere near solvency as far as making, even the money back that it took to make the video. Now, I did sell some of the toolkits. I gave some of them away and things, and I still have some of them. But, so, like, that's a prime example. And that's kind of the game we play, right? Sometimes, when you're looking at it from this specific perspective. I make videos all the time. I lose money on. Like, I'm not really worried about every video making money. But if you're looking to make money, these kinds of things matter. So, like, what's the draw here for this, right? This is car related, yeah, but it's real simple. It's real easy to do. It's a relatively short video. Unfortunately, like, yes, sometimes you can get people to watch longer times, like um, Allison Morrow, who has good, long, in-depth discussions and stuff on her channel. Speaking of which, bam. Da, 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 da. So sometimes you can get people to watch longer, but in a lot of the tutorial and other aspects of like YouTube anymore, it seems like we're, hold on, I'm probably gonna have to mute my audio. Okay, there we go. It seems like more people are kind of steering away from the long form content. Okay, so the link that I just posted is Allison's channel. That'll take you to her channel page. And if you would be so kind, or you care enough to get some actual news in your life, and I mean real news, like as independent as it damn well can be in today's world, it's a good channel. She updates stories as they come through. Like, she's actually been doing a really good job considering they have a newborn at home. So hats off to them. Uh, but, it seems like a lot of people are going away from some of the longer form content, whereas unless it's necessary. Like, if you're doing a video on how to do a head gasket, like say on my Ford Fiesta, that would have been a long fucking video. Then yeah, it's kind of warranted. There's a lot of information there. But if I'm doing a video on a set of wrenches, I better, if I'm testing and doing some other stuff and things during the video, may be okay. But those things better be able to hold that viewer's attention. They better think they're worthwhile. That's one of the reasons why this video did so well, because it was so short, really short, to the point. It covers a lot of people. It's a common problem with most used cars that people buy. And the benefit for me on that side was that the Acadia is one of the kind of heavily copied vehicles. There's three other, four total model vehicles on that same body chassis, I guess would say. But the GM standard covers a lot of other models of sedans and things as well, as far as how they were programming keys and key fobs at that time. So while I specifically state this covers these four kinds of vehicles, Acadia, Outlook, Buick Enclave, and the Chevy Traverse, it also follows into a lot of the sedans and things. So that's one of the reasons that video did and still does as well as it does. And that's just a weird thing. So if you can try to monopolize that out over time, then that's where you can start, I think, really profiting from the whole YouTube system, is really trying to take that into account. Like, yes, you want to make those videos for your audience that are dedicated to whatever topics, but at the same time, you want to try to make them simple enough, if possible, to appeal to the masses. So like that video is again just the perfect example of it's still about cars, so it definitely fits on the channel, and it's still useful even to maybe even a mechanic who just doesn't offhand know how to program keys and key fobs in that specific vehicle. But especially for the masses that are going to experience that hopefully at some point, it's a great video for them just to pick up, click on, couple of minutes, they'll see if it's worthwhile or not, and in that case it is. So of the short run time, people watch it for like 2 to 3 minutes, which is the most of the video. So it's got like somewhere around 60-70% variable watch time, which is pretty good. These are the things you got to watch for. That's how you profit from YouTube, right? And I mean, it goes against other things too, like new tools are always a hot topic, but you got to be careful when everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, or it's a new product launch or something like that. You really have to try and bring a different perspective, think about a different feature, isolate something that maybe not everybody else is talking about. You come with something that's slightly more original than what everybody else is going to be talking about. Maybe even, like, I don't know, say Snap-on comes out with, for instance, a new digital torque wrench. But let's say that it's got some new feature that everybody's talking about and saying how it's going to be so awesome. But say your main point of your video is not how awesome it is like everybody else is talking about, but how you're disappointed that they weren't able to put in this one feature, or that another torque wrench from somebody else has that feature and this one doesn't. Like whatever it is, bring something that's slightly different. So everyone else is, the new Snap-on torque wrench, da 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 da. They're all talking about it, how great it is, or why you need it or whatever. And your video would be the one feature that the new Snap-on torque wrench is missing, and boom, everybody would click on that much quicker than they would click on the others. And even if they did watch one of the others, then they see your video and go, wait, whoa, hold on, this guy's got, or this guy, woman, person has some kind of information about this that I'm not necessarily aware of. I want to see what they're talking about. They click on the video. So it's things like that. Like offer a different perspective. And that really helps. Like in that one, I really think it was an impromptu video already, but I didn't think it was going to do anything. It was just real short, to the point, like, hey, I'm programming this key, this is how you do it. Hey, I'm programming these fobs, this is how you do it. But, it wasn't much, and I made it, recorded it, edited it, sent it out there. I just thought it was another video, and it turned out to be currently the best one on my channel. It's weird like that, and I didn't even think about it. I've analyzed it now, more so obviously because of its success, but at the time I didn't think that. I actually thought it was a horrible video. It was kind of sad that I shot it. So it's just kind of weird like that. And Brad over at Brad's Workbench will tell you the same thing. He has told me, I think 2 or 3 times now. He told me not to buy all those 1/4-inch ratchet sets and do that video because he thought it was going to bomb, for lack of a better term, which it kind of pretty much did. Um, he said it was a waste of money. But he has told me multiple times that it's the impromptu, kind of off the cuff videos that seem to be good. He said if he sits down and he plans something out and he tries to, like, do it and streamline it and make it into something, for not forcibly but deliberately, that seems to do worse than when he just kind of off the cuff just throws on the camera and records. So there's something to be said about that too. I don't know if maybe you come across as more comfortable, uh, more understandable, relatable. I'm not sure how that directly correlates, but it's there. When I did Uber, much like what I'm doing to my current gig, I saved 20% of all earnings for taxes alone. Yeah. And YouTube's the same way. I mean, I don't know what this year's going to look like. Obviously, I still have all the money, so paying taxes on any of that. My taxes are screwed this year anyway. Um, and probably a little bit into next year because of the separation or whatever. But yeah, I still have all the money. But yeah, and that's the other thing, that when people watch all these videos about what YouTubers and people make, that's the other thing that they don't take into account, is that past a certain point, I forget what the actual federal cutoff is for, claimable income. I'm sure their baseline argument is that you need to claim everything, but you have to claim that income, and so you get taxed on that income, and because it's not payroll income, it's taxed differently. So yeah, you pay a little bit more. Well, I'm not going to say more, but you know what I mean. Tax brackets probably less than what you would pay through your personal taxes, but it seems like more because it's not the same as like a payroll where you see the deductions and things. Because almost nobody looks at their gross income, right? I mean, maybe on like a salary level, they look at like what they're making per year, but most people don't look at their gross income on their pay stubs too much. They pay attention to the net, what they're taking home. So when you have a business or something like this where you're actually looking at what you made and then you see this giant chunk taken out of it, or in this case, you get a bill for a chunk that you owe out of it, it's pretty upsetting. So, what is going on in the chat? It's kind of a gamble to take my truck because in Portland I get a lot of boxes, and if I'm in my town doing it, they usually have a lot of envelopes compared to boxes. What is that Doug's talking about? Delivering stuff? Oh. And they said everything has to fit inside. Oh. Yeah, so not in the bed. Yeah, I can kind of get that. You're delivering things. I can see that. It's like a pizza driver putting the pizza in the back of the truck. Frowned upon. Yeah, and that's true, Doug, that people will flock to that video. I've actually, I have a buddy that does editing, and if I ever get the damn wherewithal or have a desert of content like currently. I have the footage. I thought about doing individual voiceovers for each individual socket set and posting those subsequent videos. Number one, just for content. Number two, just, I think they would maybe do better. Like, really, the 1/4 inch Capri set deserves its own video. I mean, I am still disappointed in the quality of the ratchet in the set. I've said that multiple times, but other than that, it's not a bad ratchet. It's just not super high quality. But it really would and should be its own video. So if I ever get the time or wherewithal, I will record some voiceovers, probably send those to my buddy who does editing, and have him just splice footage, as he sees fit over that, and then do, a review that way. It's one of the great things about YouTube. I've actually seen a couple people kind of repost, not repost completely, but kind of pull old footage and things from different videos into others and kind of, make like a new video. There's so many ways with this whole YouTube thing to double dip content and profit. It's really not funny. If you can get to that level where you have a big enough audience for it to matter and really make a difference, then yeah, I mean, it's huge. All right, guys, I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back and probably grab another beer. All right, we are back. So, what's going on in the chat? Who said frown upon what? Oh, Doug's carrying the chat like a champ. It's kind of a game. Okay, take the truck. I don't bother taking the truck to Portland, though. I don't need to know either. Prius has a new engine. New engine? That's a small engine, isn't it? I don't know much about the Priuses. I mean, I know the general knowledge that basically is out there, but if I'm not mistaken, it's a really tiny engine. It's basically a generator that runs the engine, or at least the early models were, to my knowledge. There are guys that come in that have canopies or flat covers. Their worries are the boxes getting wet. Yeah. They can use their beds. The pizza boxes. Yeah. The pizza boxes in the back of the truck would be frowned upon. Although, sometimes, or at least out here where I'm at, sometimes you order a pizza and the damn thing comes like piping hot still, and like you're not ready for it because you're used to being that second or third stop on a delivery drive, and then all of a sudden you're the first stop and you get the piping hot pizza and you're not ready for it. Oh, so today is, for another short while, National Sticker Day, apparently. So we snap on, all thanks to Renegade's Garage, Work Pro, all the stickers that are already on my computer, Brad's Workbench, Autobahn Dan. Who else do we got on here? Work Pro, Morwea, Gador, Snap On, is that Swiss, Rigid, Milwaukee, bunch of stuff on there. National Sticker Day. If I had thought about it, I have plenty of stickers. Obviously, I have enough going on at the moment. But if I'd have thought about it, I'd have, done like a sticker giveaway. It's like I really got to try to coordinate more stuff like that. My Instagram game, obviously, my YouTube game's been off, but my Instagram game is just non-existent here lately. I think like most of what I've posted has been about the live streams. I didn't even post this one tonight, and somehow this one's doing better than I've done in a couple of weeks, so that's encouraging. So we definitely like that. But it's a weird thing. Uh, you know, I'm gonna say 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, I didn't even have a house. I was living in an apartment much like this, and like I have like hardly any tools. I mean, I had stuff, but not like a lot of anything. And I still did stuff, but not, the level that I can do now. And so imagine being like okay, take away, I don't know if Princess is still in here, but it's like taking Princess Jamie's garage away from her, or her 4x4s, or what. It's like you lose a kind of like a large piece of part of, let's just call it your identity, for lack of a better explanation, uh, or at least like your hobby, whatever. And so then I'm here now, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make this work on top of, doing all the other things that need done. And it's an interesting predicament to be in, because to me, and I probably put too much stock in it, is that, like, okay, like just for instance, if that last video over here, there, right there, over the Fox Peed car jump starter, if that had not been a car jump starter, if that had been a wrench or some other thing, I wouldn't have even done it, because I can't wrench, so it's gonna be harder and harder for me to do those like actual hand tool reviews for me, because I don't want to say too much about a specific tool if it's almost readily apparent that I'm not using it a lot. If I've got some projects and things when I had a garage, and then I can say, okay, like I've used it on this project, I've been wrenching with this for a little while, this is what I think. I think that's kind of, I don't know, we'll say it falls into a better category. Maybe I got some video of it, maybe I didn't, who knows. But, like, now, if I get some ratchet and we know I'm not doing like a whole bunch of wrenching, right? It's kind of hard to give that like a real review. And I don't want to be one of those YouTubers. They are notorious and they are out there. Some of you know who they are. That review tools that don't really, we'll say for lack of a better term, use them. And so it's misleading. And I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, you and me need a bigger garage, Renegade. That's it. I'm coming down to Jacksonville. That's it. I'm going. Oh, MC Engineering? Oh, listen what I can. Yes, MC Engineering, much appreciated. Thank you for stopping by. Definitely want to make sure I give you a shout. Craig does some great stuff. If you're not following him on Instagram, then get over there and follow him on Instagram. What is it? Is it, I don't even have my phone here. It's like, what is it? Craig Camp 77? Am I right on that? Let me look so I get it right. Search. Oh God, it's okay. Yeah, Craig Camp 77, all one word. Yeah, and holy shit, I didn't realize how many followers you had on Instagram. Save some for the rest of us, Jesus. Got over 11K followers on Instagram. Jesus. I mean, it's the epitome of tool porn, though. I mean, come on. When you don't have it, make it, right? And that's what he does consistently. Um, it's fun. It's definitely tool porn, but yeah. So Craig's doing great things over there. Also, the YouTube. I don't think there's as much on the YouTube. I'm gonna get over there. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay. No, I typed something in wrong. Filter. Channels. Holy shit. No, maybe I need to put the ink on there. I think you're like, what the fuck? Okay, you know what? You gotta be on my list pretty high. I don't see another comment yet. You should be able to search your damn subscriptions. This is a bunch of bull. Wait, no, that's not it. Rex Kruger. That's one of Brad's work. There you are. Yeah. Okay. So over 11K on Instagram. Only a travesty. 260 on YouTube. But. Oh well, no. I guess you do have a decent amount of videos. Holy shit! You got a video 8 years ago with a Fanic. Gotta look at this. Turn the mute on. Oh, is that a little tabletop? Oh, sweet. That's nice. Oh man. Yeah, the 200 IC. Yep, yep. I've worked with those before. That's sweet. That's from 8 years ago. Jesus. Yeah. So it looks like, uh, yeah, you're getting more serious on the YouTube side of things. Within the last year, you've posted, yeah, about close to 10 videos, maybe a little more. So yeah, and of course they vary a little bit, but yeah. So there's the video of you making the last video that you've posted was the making the part for Brad's workbench for his, what was it, jet bandsaw that went belly up on him. Very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, you volunteered to do that, right? And that was after he bought the replacement part and it was incorrect. So Craig's out there doing what original equipment manufacturers can't even do, which is, getting you the right part that you need for something like that's, and again, that's just great. So yeah, definitely love Craig. Try to show as much appreciation as I can. Yoda Doug, another great channel that is so underrated. And again, like my earlier comment, and that's what I'm saying, guys, is we're not, we are underrated maybe to a degree, but it's not for the reasons that most of us think. We need to get out to a wider audience, right? So when you post stuff, whether that be Instagram or YouTube or whatever, try to consider those things and try to think about them ahead of time and hopefully cater the content around as close as you can get to normal people. If you're making a video on how to do ignition timing on an old Mustang, right? That might do okay. I'm not even going to say it's going to do okay because anyone that's got an old Mustang and they're doing some shit to it, they don't need to look it up on YouTube. But you get my idea. If you're doing something on how to do that properly, but it's very specific to a model of vehicle or even a tool to some degree, then that's going to go out to less people. But let's say you're doing a video on a 3/8 ratchet, which it couldn't get more boring than that, right? You know, and don't try not to clickbait too much, but the title of the video would be, you know, assuming that it fit the criteria to some degree. Yeah, the last 1/4 inch or the last 3/8 ratchet that you're going to need, or the 3/8 ratchet that you don't have, or the 3/8 ratchet you don't know you need if it's a flex head, bent handle, you know, something, 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 things like that. Like, make those videos and cater those descriptions and the content around those individual features or situations, but still being general enough not to alienate everybody. If you make a video on Fords, Chevy guys aren't going to watch that unless they're looking for shit to make fun of. you make a video on Harbor Freight Tools, the serious mechanics and the Snap-on guys are probably not going to watch that video. Unless again they're looking for stuff to make fun of. So it's really it's a tough game out there. But like think about those things beforehand. Like I'm starting to do sponsorships. I'm actually lacking really bad because I got a I got contacted before Christmas on a sponsorship, and I have all the stuff, I guess, but I gotta like film the spot, and I want to do it justice, so I haven't done it yet. I've kind of started it, but it's not anywhere near finished. But I have to make the sponsorship ad for one of my videos, or some of my videos, whatever. I'll probably use it multiple times. And then I reached out to another company, and and I'll tell you few that are in here this, and it's I won't hide it in the actual video, but I'm I got a hold of a company. I was already interested in their products, not tool related, not really directly anywhere near tool related, but I was already interested in their products. I was talking to them, and they were like, "Hey, would you be interested in the sponsorship?" And they said that they weren't at this time. They don't have that like really set up. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy some of your stuff. Can I run a quote unquote sponsored ad on my channel? It's like if you really want, I can record it and send it to you first so you can view it and approve it or whatever. So I'm not getting paid for it, but it's practice, and it puts me in like a slightly different category when I start running ads on my videos, on my own videos. And I like the products. I have them. I bought some. So, um, yeah. So, and they said that that would be fine. They were interested to see the video and da da da. So, and it may not pay off right away, but it may pay off later once they get those things in place, or they notice that somehow seemingly I'm driving some kind of traffic or something that okay, well maybe we should sponsor this guy. It's just one of those things. And so always be on the lookout. Always be products are good, and that's a good place to start. Product sponsorships will give you this tool for free. You can review it, those kinds of things. But we all kind of do that already. Sometimes, though, they just get like the whole video. But where's a good example? Okay, the SK wipes, and we're gonna use SK, but insert any brand here. So, Renegade got the SK wipes. That's probably one of the most lackluster parts of his package that he won. But let's again assume that it's not necessarily SK, but just a general brand. If you reached out to them and go, "Hey man, like I have this tool channel and I do these videos, and I wanted to see if I could run a sponsorship ad on my channel for this product. I'll run it by you first. You can approve it or not, whatever. But if you approve of it, I'm gonna run it on my channel." It puts you in a whole nother category. We've all watched those YouTubers and seen these people that have their own ads on the videos, and that's a whole nother class. Like that's where and most of you probably don't know or care, but like Mr. Beast, who somehow currently is the king of YouTube, for the most part, you know, below PewDiePie or whatever. But as far as up and coming, he's kind of the top. And that's literally what happened to him. He got his first real sponsorship after years and years and years and years on YouTube. And he got his first real sponsorship. They paid him like a real amount of money, and for whatever reason, he decided to take all of this money, which I mean is contrary to what most anybody would do. He decided to take all of that money, allegedly, all of that money. We're assuming it's all of that money. But he decided to take that money from the sponsorship and go donate it to a homeless man. Now, at the time, this wasn't necessarily nearly as frowned upon as it is today with, like, you know, the staged um, charity, I guess we would call it, for lack of a better term. But so it wasn't near as frowned upon, and no, not I'm not gonna say nobody had done it, but nobody had done it to this level. And he gave the dude like I want to say it was like 10 grand, and that was his first video that just blew up. And so from then on, he has utilized not only his traffic and the revenue from that, but the sponsorships that he incurs in those to fund the other videos. The motherfucker bought an island. Bought an island. Hold on. Bought an island out in the ocean. I don't know where. You don't know where. But he bought an island, did a couple of videos on it, da 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 da, gave it away. Now, hold on. Remember back to our earlier conversation, right? Expenses, tax write offs. Bought the island for videos, filmed some videos on the island, gave away the island in a video. Now, I'm no tax expert, and I'm sure things of a higher dollar amount, there's some red tape in there, but it's not all in the loss category. Some of that, some large portion of that, was a complete write off. So the dude got to buy an island, film some videos on said island, and give away the island, and still probably didn't feel that entire huge gut punch of whatever that was that island cost. Like, that's the whole idea, and that's where we all need to get to. It's just figuring out the road to get to that level. Wait. What did Amos say? People who stage charity videos should get beat down. Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, and I don't think, and I'll give him credit for the ones that he's done, and kind of probably still continues to do. He doesn't put, like, his aren't like that 10 minutes of like wanting someone to cry or, you know, whatever at the end of the video. Like, his is more centered around what he's doing, that he's doing it, you know, out of his kindness. There's not as much like of them wanting the reaction. It's not the reaction and the stuff that I think he's attempting to get across. It's the benefit, the, you know, the how it affects the people. I think it's more that. And you've seen him do a lot more recently with like kids charities, with toys and food banks and things like that. So I mean, kind of on his level, he gets a pass anyway, but we'll give him a pass anyway because he's not, you know, being weird. Like, I saw a video and it was it was nice, but it was cringy at the same time. In New York, apparently Amazon's like same day just delivery for, like some of us here in like the Midwest and other parts. Some places have some products that'll be same day delivered. If you order them at say before 9 or 10 a.m., you'll get them by close of business, that kind of thing. But apparently in New York, it's even like better than that. Like it's sometimes a few hours, and they'll literally like have a guy, quite literally, walking down the street with a, I don't know, a basket full of packages or whatever, delivering it. Well, this guy in question, um, the title of the video was something like utilizing Amazon's uh, super fast same day delivery to donate to the needy, or something to that effect. And so basically, this guy was using Amazon's speedy delivery service to go talk to these homeless people or whatever, and then figure out what they said they needed, or what they said they would need, or whatever, through the conversation, and then use the service to then deliver it to said homeless person sitting on the corner of, whatever, in Fifth Avenue. So, like, the whole video, the whole intent, like, the whole thing was, like, pretty good until, like, the execution. And it was just, like, I don't know. It was just really, it felt like over the top, not so genuine, not very charitable, I guess. Like more so that you could kind of tell they were obviously doing it for like the views and the clickbait. I mean, I'm not saying they were assholes about it. I'm not saying their hearts weren't actually in the right place. I'm just saying how it came across. And I'm sure they helped like plenty of people, and got them some stuff, and that's great. But like you could tell from everything else about the video that basically they were shooting a video to shoot a video about this. Like if it was really that big a deal to you, you I guess you wouldn't have shot a video. I mean, it's hard for me to say. I guess because it was like multiple people and different situations, different items, and things, like you would think that they would, I don't know, like be a little more discreet about it. Like I even think they like, I'm sure eventually that the people figured out they were being recorded or whatever, but you could just tell it was kind of forced and coerced, and some of the recipients were like, "Oh, okay, like cool, thanks," and like you kind of tell, like they kind of like probe them or ask them another question, like, "Man, well, how much is this gonna change your life? Like whatever, or your day to day, or whatever they said." You just kind of tell they were looking for like more of the reaction, and nah, that that's not a good place to be. So Amos says, Mr. Beast is cool in my book, but I've heard some people giving away money on a video. I but have heard of people giving away money on a video and then taking it back after filming. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and I'm sure that stuff happens. The good news about most of us is, we don't have to worry about that. But uh, the extremely good news for me is that, like, I say I'm gonna give something away, and then I keep reiterating, especially in like the current climate, that I still intend to give it away. I just haven't done it yet, And so I have the Tack Life 3/8 ratchet. I have the Bauer drill that is on the table behind me way back there. And the Master Mechanics drill set. For sure, I have those three things to give away. And I need to get around to that. Desperately need to get around to that. Maybe I'll start off with one. Maybe I'll start off with the 3/8 Tack Life ratchet. I'll get this socket put back in there. Man, they get crazy with them lithium batteries ever since the Samsung phones started blowing up on planes. It's all ground shipping now, and well, it's like you can only ship so many cells, and they're nuts about it. It's really kind of a pain in the ass to ship battery operated anything anymore. Oh, BSS is here. Welcome to the stream, sir. Oh, Renegade asking who the charity video. Yeah, like there are. Ooh, there was that one. This was like a couple of years ago. Do you guys remember this? There was a couple, a guy and a girl, and the girl was supposedly alone and broke down somewhere, and some homeless guy gave her money, or she ran out of gas or something. And the homeless guy gave her money, like his last, I don't know, $20, or which is amazing that a homeless guy, whatever. But so this homeless guy gives her like $20 or whatever for gas and da da da. And so then the couple starts a GoFundMe for the homeless guy. Come to find out, and people donate thousands and thousands of dollars. And come to find out, through a whole bunch of BS, that the guy in question and the homeless guy in question had apparently like schemed it and had planned it. And the girl in the end, last I read, had claimed that she had no idea. But we all know how that goes. But she claimed she had no idea. And so basically, what happened was the couple started fighting with the homeless guy because he wanted the money or more money or whatever, and they weren't giving it to him. They were keeping part of the money. I don't think like GoFundMe. I don't think they like refunded it. I think it got like past maybe that stage. They had already had control of the money or something. But I know there was like a lawsuit on behalf of the homeless guy or whatever to get him all of the money that was owed to him from the GoFundMe. But yeah, like they frauded this whole thing out. And that was like a big story. It was probably about 2 or so years ago, maybe even further. But it was a really big story at the time, and that's the kind of shit that we're talking about. Renegade is, well, I mean, that's the extreme side of it. But like, okay, for instance, I I'm not like a crazy prepper, but I have stuff, and when I'm moving out of my wife's house and into this, and now it's just basically me and my daughter most of the time. My son, I see him on a visitation schedule, so he's only here so often. So it's basically me and her. So it's hard to cook like big meals because even as me as a kid, I didn't want to eat the same stuff, day after day after day. So I understand that. So I try to cater to that. So I had all this food storage. I mean, I had bought a ton. I mean, my deep freeze is full, canned meats and everything else under the sun. I was stocked up. And so moving from my wife's house to here, luckily, I caught one of Allison Morrow's. Um, let's see, am I even? Am I still? Let me get to it. Let me get to it. I don't even know if I still have the link. I think I do. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, I think so. So that should be, let me click on it. That should be Allison's channel. Yeah. So I was literally watching YouTube and she went live and I caught it. And she was talking to a director of a food bank. Now this was up in the Seattle area, but she was talking about how these food banks are decimated, yada yada yada. So I watched her video, the live stream. I'm in there and I'm like, okay, that's it. Like I didn't realize it was this bad. I mean, I knew it was bad. I didn't realize like maybe how bad it was or in some areas. So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna go through my food storage and see what I can donate. And I got a hold of, the local close to me food bank. Well, the town my wife's house is in, and where my daughter goes to school and all that. So I'm still in the community. And so I donated. I don't even have a dollar amount, but if I had to guess, somewhere around three to maybe approaching $4,000 in food, canned meats, dry goods, rice, pasta. I mean, it was like load up the whole SUV, try to figure out, like, we had to stop loading because we only had so much space. Like, it was that bad. And so, and we get there. This guy agrees to meet us there kind of late at night, right before I was moving, because like I got hold of him. I couldn't get a hold of anybody because everything's closed. And so finally he called me back, like right before I was moving, like day before. And so I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if we can make this thing happen tonight, then I'll bring you some stuff up to the food bank. And so I went in and I donated all this stuff. And I mean, like you could tell the dude was kind of like at first like not leery, but just kind of like, oh, okay, you're gonna bring me some stuff. And then like once we really started unpacking, and because I it was in like totes and big heavy duty totes, the ones you've seen here in the house, like the black and yellow. I mean, just loaded with stuff. And so we started unpacking those because I still needed totes to move. And like yeah, but like he had like three or four, probably more, like doubled up, but he had all these tables out downstairs in the church. And so I mean, we're just stacking and he started unloading and we're still bringing stuff in, and he's just like, oh, like by the end of it he was like, we don't like I don't, I can't like write you a paper because like our donations don't, like it's not taxable. So like he's like, I don't know what like I can do for you. Like I can't give you a piece of paper to write this off or anything. And I was like, no, like it's totally fine. That's not why I'm doing it. Like I'm not going to be able to eat all this stuff in time before it's going to go bad. So I figured, you're in need. And he had told me there before we left that basically at that time, before I came and made this donation, that his pantry was literally like all but empty. And he was like really like we literally did not have much, and this is all exactly the type of stuff that we need. Like I had stuff for kids, snacks, like little, individual snacks and Capri Suns and the hugs and because I have kids, I didn't, I mean, I literally cut through my stuff and just probably about half or maybe even more than half, just, cut through it and donate it. And I didn't film a video. I mean, obviously it's not tool related, but you didn't see it on Instagram. I didn't make a post on Facebook. I'm telling you guys about it now, but for the obvious context of, that shit doesn't, you know, as somebody who has gotten food and Christmas and things like that from food banks and charities, like it's a mildly embarrassing thing to begin with. I mean, some maybe not for everybody, but definitely for the children or young people involved. At minimum, like some adults might be okay with it, but then that's a whole nother conversation about people that are, you know, okay with getting charity or, I mean, okay with it is one thing. Expecting it or whatever is another. I guess that's a whole nother conversation. But it it just doesn't need to be filmed. Like I did that, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't even necessarily for the shelf life of the food. I would have been okay. I probably, I mean, yeah, some of it may have actually gone to waste. Possibly that's a way future thing to consider. But I thought to be on the safe side, and I have excess, and for all the other reasons, I would just get rid of it, donated, to someone that could use it. And I mean, it worked out. And Allison, I got on there because I like following up with her. Uh, I really do. I really like her. She's a good person. Um, she does good stuff. And so I told her after I did it, I was like, yo, I just want to make sure, let you know that I followed through on this. I didn't there was no pictures or anything, but I was like, I went through my stuff. I donated some food, and I told her the thing about the guy saying that his food bank was basically all but empty before I got, to him. And so she came back to me and she had got in touch with her contacts at their Northwest, yeah, I guess that would be like Northwest Food Bank Coalition or whatever they are up there. And she said, well, hey, do you have a way that I can contact this guy because they may be able to help they may be able to pull resources from that region and help them out even further in that area, if you give me some contact information. So I did, and I haven't followed up on that. I'm assuming that hopefully something, even if it's small, came of that. But yeah, I mean, that's the level that I guess it's not selflessness per se, but I told her about, or she opened my eyes to, I acted, and then she's reacting and all this stuff, and hopefully that my the small tiny little town that my daughter goes to school in of maybe 16, 1700 people, maybe some people in that area get a little more assistance because of that. It's all for the good. But again, back to the original point, that shit doesn't need to be recorded. That shit doesn't need to go on Facebook. I mean, am I gonna hate on you if you do it? If you did it and did it right, maybe, maybe. But you better attempt to do it right. It better come from like a decent place. It better be a short, video or whatever. Maybe highlighting the fact that places still need help and people need to reach out, something like that. If that was the main emphasis of a video like that, then maybe I could see it. But if you're just, oh, hey, it's, young Jeezy and I'm donating my Rolex to this food bank. Nobody gives a fuck, dude. Like, you're obviously doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, yeah, you might help some people, but it's still from the wrong place. So you're going to end up getting more hate than anything. But if, I guess, if it's done right and maybe it's short, sweet, and your heart and your message are in the right place, maybe. But yeah, you can't do those charity video. That shit doesn't work anymore. Oh, and jarred. I don't know what and jarred. Canned food and jarred? Yeah, none of mine was like garden food. They got a whole nother thing for that. One of my buddies is a avid hunter, and he'll hunt for himself, and he'll get like I think if I remember his direct reasoning, I think like his first deer, he's like, yeah, like that one's gonna be mine. He'll get like his meat and stuff that he needs, and then anything past that, he'll donate. But there's like a little bit of like red tape even with that kind of stuff, even around here in the Midwest, and so like it's all got to be on the level, of course, and then it's got to go to an official butcher, and they have to like, I mean, I guess not certify it, but you know what I mean. It's got to be like officially processed and packaged to some regulation of degree, and then it can be donated. So like he'll donate. Yeah, again, I don't necessarily know what the bag limits. I think if you play like the county game and kind of bounce around, you can get like maybe up to like four or so. Um, but yeah, if he gets more than what he needs, he donates it. And again, not like a big deal or thing. Can you imagine how happy some of these people are? Some of these people, the poor people, whatever, to get some stuff from a food bank and for it to be venison. Oh, venison chili. Oh, venison burgers, and because it's processed at the butcher, and I think this costs him. I think this costs him money because he actually has them mix in. I think it's pork and beef fat. I want to say, don't quote me on this, but he'll have them because like the predominant way when he's donating the whole deer or whatever, or a portion or whatever it ends up being for his donations, he has them grind it all up into 1 pound packages, but he has them. I'm sure at some small cost to himself, he has them grind up extra fat and trimmings from other beef and pigs to add into, so it makes it, I guess, more akin to like a regular ground, because if you know anything about venison, it's really lean. So he basically has them add fat back into it so that it's more like, the kind of stuff that you would get at the grocery store, even though it's a little more gamey, and we all know the difference. Most of us know the difference. So he does that, and it's really admirable, I think. And again, not a lot of publicity or anything. He told me about that. We were talking about hunting, and I said, you're on your like third deer or whatever this season, or whatever it was, second deer, and I'm like, man, like, what are you doing with all that? And then it just came up in conversation, but yeah, it's a weird thing, man. Like a lot of people don't really get it, and a lot of people's your wallet can be in the right place, but your heart cannot be. Right? I guess is the best way to describe that. Renegade, yeah, I had a contractor come do some wood siding repair and paint our house on the outside. His helper was down on his luck and didn't have a vehicle. Wait a minute, did I miss? Did I miss? I'm knocking stuff over. Who left? Jared was. Wait, who's? Oh, and Jared. Okay. So wait, did I miss something? Da, 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 right, channel RG something. Maybe Sarah Jake gave it the next figure. Now, I'm trying to read what Renegade's talking about. Oh, yeah. Poultry. Yeah, yeah. And that's the other thing, Amos, is that, yeah, we had all this food and no way to process it because all the plants were closed and shit. Now they're on emergency. How the fuck does that not? How how is that not on the top of the list? I don't know. Maybe they had problems with staffing because of COVID related like infections and quarantines and. But yeah, I mean that never should have happened. It shouldn't happen any day in America. Like it really should not. Like it's almost to the point to where it like makes you want to go like start some non-profit or some kind of for lack of a better term, business or charity or something. It almost makes you want to just like go out and do something because we, even on a household level, to be honest, we all throw away so much food. I mean, even I'm guilty of it. I bought some mushrooms and like I picked out, what I could in a salad that was still, decent, but like it was on the on the far side of, old, but they weren't like slimy or unedible or anything yet. But there was still a portion of those mushrooms that were still in the container before I tossed them. And like tonight, I made like some pizzas and stuff, and my daughter only ate about half of hers, and I threw the other half away. I mean, we know that you can't leftovers and save everything, and that's part of the problem. And I'm not specifically talking about leftovers in general, but just the food waste on a household level in America is appalling to what some other countries do. Like in Japan, they have like their whole recycling thing set up, and food waste goes in one place and paper waste and plastic waste, and it is divided the fuck up. Like you have a whole, you have to literally go through your trash, and like you can get fined and things, other kinds of municipal, you know punishments, I guess, for not recycling properly. If you're not separating and things properly, like you get in trouble for it. So, I mean, it's really interesting to look at the differences, what some countries do, and, their policies on certain things, and then what other countries do. Like, we're just, we're really bad in terms of our food quality, the fact that I talked about this in a drunk live stream that I deleted, and um, Mark C was really upset that I deleted it. He claimed it was a very real video and very, important. Kind of got not mad at me, but kind of upset that I deleted it, that it was gone. But I mean, really, there's some kid somewhere, multiple hundreds, probably thousands or more, for almost definitely more than thousands, here in this country going to bed tonight that have not ate dinner. That not ate dinner. Like, go not eat for fucking 8 to 10 hours and see how your stomach feels. And we're adults. Like, it sucks. It like borderline hurts. Like when you haven't ate for a really decent period of time. And there are some kids going to bed like that, and they're going to wake up in that same state where if there wasn't anything to eat for dinner, chances are there's not anything to eat for breakfast. Like, it's fucking. It's appalling that we are in one of the most theoretically civilized countries in the world, and that we have that going on. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's a little easier though, Doug. Doug says he hasn't ate anything since this morning and he's thinking about pizza. And it's a little easier for us as adults to kind of get so caught up and maybe busy in our heads and other things, and not think about food. I catch it sometimes. There are days if I'm busy and I'm going around and cleaning, or I got errands to run and different things. There are some days where I don't eat until dinner. I mean, and that happens from time to time, but I will bet you one thing, I'm starving before I get done with the dinner. Like, I feel it in my stomach. So no kid should ever go through anything like that. But sadly, we're not probably going to be able to stop all of it. I mean, there's bad parenting and all other kinds of things mixed in there. But yeah, I mean, if we can attempt to do something about it, Jesus, we should. Like, we really should. It's just, ugh, it's one of those things for me. So when it came to like donating food at the food bank, I mean, that was an easy decision, very easy. And my wife wasn't super happy about having to go through all the stuff we had already packed to like sort through it and give most of it away. But I think at the end of it, like, she kind of realized, you know, other than the pain in the ass of sorting it all and getting it over there and all that, we had done some good. So even everything that we are going through and a little bit of complaining or whatever you want to have descriptor there for her, I think at the end of it, like, she, the end point was, greater than the discomfort of having to do a little extra work, right? And that's kind of the idea. Well, go drink some more coffee, Renegade, right? It's coffee time. Anyhow, guys, it is 11:30. I've been on here for a little over 3 hours. I'm going to cut it off here for the week. I've digressed back into my children are hungry rhetoric, and while it is unfortunately a really bad situation, um, not much we can immediately do about it. So I'm going to cut it off here. I will get you guys some content coming up in the next few days. Look forward to, I might even do the Instagram giveaway. I really need to increase my followers over there. I mean, that sounds stupid and maybe superficial, but I think I only have like 300 or some odd followers, and I don't know, it bothers me. Even the tool sales and deals page on Facebook has already well surpassed, in a much shorter time, has well surpassed popularity for that over my YouTube channel. So that's not like, that's more of a personal thing, I guess, looking at metrics. But the fact that I have almost 2,000 people over there on that page, and even less than that subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But so I will cut it off here. I really thank everybody for donating today. I greatly appreciate it. Yoda Doug, Princess Jamie. I'm trying not to forget anybody. I think there was a smaller one in there somewhere. Don't quote me. It's all gone. Well, I don't know if I can. Can I look at super chats? No. No, it's not. You son of a bitch. Really? Like, I should. Oh, because I'm not in the video. Hold on, let me look. No, it's not there either. Wait. What the fuck? How can you not pull up super chats? Oh, well, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so I think there was a smaller one in there. Lynn from Allison Morrow's channel, her husband. Thank him for the super chat. Very nice. And again, guys, I posted that link earlier, or you can look it up. Allison, ALISON, 1L in Allison, Morrow, MORROW. Great news channel. Really good. It is, again, as independent as reporting can be in today's day and age, and she just really got big. So, you know, it's not completely like corrupted or commercialized or, necessarily for direct profit or any of that. It's just her and her opinions, and a lot of really good guests, like diverse, good group of educated and intertwined people in whatever she seems to be talking about. She's got a good bunch of friends to pull from as far as live stream guests and things like that. So some really interesting topics. I mean, everything from Article 230 all the way up to like the food bank thing, and just everything in between. COVID, Antifa. She has videos and live streams over all kinds of topics that are news related and current. So go ahead and get over there and check her out. And then I will see you guys shortly in the next video or the next live stream whenever I see you. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Take care and be safe.